Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the ASM Hobby Bench, the ASM community here at MeWe.com. And we got the little sister, Facebook.com. So Amazing Scale Modelers, ASM. And so we're here today doing our usual monthly show. And as you probably could figure by the title of the name of this episode is just that. We're all locked down. A month ago, when we had our show last, there wasn't much really going on anything as far as the world is concerned, or at least in the United States. Here we've got we got a member of the UK as well as Canada. Sorry, and we're talking about what has changed about our modeling habits, our modeling, how we procure things and how we build things. So we got some things to talk about. But first, I would like to share some information about this. I know you guys are probably all really tired of hearing about this, but this is something of a big interest. We have privately talked about 3D printing because that seems to be my mania right now and has been for several months. And I am creating a pretty big how should I say, model of this. You'll probably see little bits and pieces of it. But if you go to MeWe.com, that's where my center is, even though some friends told me to use Facebook more often because it goes with a wider reach. I don't know. I just don't like Facebook. Anyway, without further ado, we've talked about a lot of things when it comes to 3D printing. And so I'm going to start the show with just showing off what we're doing here. And those people who are calling me, stop calling me, please.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear the chime?
Oh, I got my own one going on here. So.
Heath calling.
This all started with the lack of supplies, and I watch a lot of channels. So why don't I just share another community that I participate in on MeWe. It's a 3D print everything. These seems to be a bunch of nice guys. And I just announced that we are featuring their page here on this show. And anything 3D, and there's a lot of tech nerds on this too. So I get a lot of information technologically when it comes to 3D printing from this group, as well as some creative people. But I think there's more techies in this than we are here at ASM, or the creative side. But certainly look them up if you're on MeWe.com. Join MeWe and go from there, because this is where I'm getting all my information from. And another place that I get information is from Joel. Joel's great on YouTube. So this video here is where it all started for me. 3D printing face shields, and there seems to be a shortage of face shields as well as he provides a lot of information about doing 3D printed face shields. And between these two, I come up with Prusa also has a free file to print this visor. And stop doing it, Heath. And they led me to Masks for Docs. They left me for Masks for Docs. And so this is going to be my source. And I started printing some things here that I like to show off. And let's see. Here is one of which, this came from Joel's website. I haven't done the Prusa one yet, but I expect to. But I got involved with long printing projects, as you can probably see behind me. The 3D printers got fired up again. And you guys, look what I got during the week. I got the proper overhead projector. Yeah, there we go. Overhead projector, clear sheets. So we'll be putting that together, putting one of Joel's things together, and see how that looks. Then just contact Mask for Docs if they have any need. So anyway, I want to leave it up to the rest of us here. Hi, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing fine there, Jack.
Okay.
I'm finding that with let's get this. I'm finding, if anything else with modeling, I'm finding I'm doing a ton more reading than normal. Catching up on all my back reading. As far as for the modeling stuff and that comply, well, we still have hardware stores and that going on. So, yeah.
I think I might have.
Hey, Heath.
Yeah, right, Heath. Come on.
All right, so we still have, if I need any supplies, we get from what I can get from a hardware store or, drugstore and that type thing. But as far as hobby shops and everything else, they're all dead in the water right now.
Oh yeah.
So, that's pretty much. I haven't done a lot of bench time. I've got started back on working on my lifeboat there yesterday, so hopefully I'll get some more progress on that. It always seems to be, I don't know what it is, but since this whole lockdown thing, I seem to have a bunch of other stuff that occupies me.
Mm-hmm.
Besides maybe spending way too much time watching YouTube videos.
That would be all? Really?
That'll probably be a lot of us, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for me as far as during this period of time.
Okay. How about you, Randall? How you doing?
Well, not too bad. I've lost my feet.
You lost
there. Yeah. Sorry. Kind of. I lost my train of thought there as well.
It was
Yeah.
yellow.
What's different about what I'm doing? To be honest, not a lot. There is one slight difference, though. I actually managed to finish a model for once. Again, like Jim said, getting supplies from model shops is going to be the toughie because they're all closed. So everything's going to have to be done online. But I'm just wondering if there's some things that need to be sent through the posts, or my favorite method of painting aerosol cans, things like that. I'm not sure what the story is with those yet, and I'm not really worried about it at the minute because I don't think I'm going to run out too soon, but I will eventually. And other than that, being the antisocial git that I am, I haven't really noticed the difference.
Well, I got to admit that you did put some humor in this time off. You sent me this book.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
I was getting a howl of it out of it. We were talking about it yesterday, and if you were to go on the MeWe site, we have a link to Hangouts that hasn't changed for 3 weeks, and that link is to a Hangout, so you can join at any time. You can join at any time, and waiting around for other people to show up or call your friends up. As I found Jim there, and Jim just told me that he found you there sitting there. And go ahead.
It's almost like as if the 48-hour hangout has become the 4 to 8 month hangout.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not 8 months, but 4 months might even be pushing it actually. But
Yeah.
one can hope.
Right. But it looks like I am working from home, and my hobby bench on this side turned out to be my work. And at 4 o'clock, I stand up, spin my chair, sit back down. I'm already on. That's the great. And you'd think I'd be working on models while at work, but no, my job is very demanding. I can probably glance at it, but you know something. The interesting thing here is, I really thought that my hobby will be a distraction from the work that I got to work from home with, and it turns out it isn't. It isn't a distraction. If anything, it's like having a little teddy bear, you know,
You're Woogie.
something like Phil. Where's the evil bear?
He's on top. He sneaked away.
Oh, he sneaked away. It's like having all my favorite things around me, and it relieves my stress, is what my point is. It's not so much a distraction, even though when the printer gets done, I can jump over there, pull it off, and then start a new print. But I don't know. That doesn't happen too often because my prints are 2.5 days long now because I'm redoing some parts. So how you doing there? How are you managing in a state that hasn't required you to lock yourself down?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, we're not quite at the stay-at-home stage, but a lot of places are making lines just to get into their store, like grocery stores and Walmart. But with me not being able to work right now, I get to be the stay-home dad and help my kids with distant learning, and get to spend time on the bench when I'm not doing the ever-present yard work when it starts snowing in North Dakota. And then got 4 days of yard work in, and then all of a sudden it snowed 5. So, can't win for losing. But being in North Dakota, I do have one hobby shop, local hobby shop, been here for 30 years. She's still going because, like I said, the governor's not issued that order yet. And with her, I get quite a bit, but mostly my prints. And then for kits, I usually either from her, because she does Hasegawa, Tamiya, Hobby Boss, Airfix, besides the ever unlovable Rebel and those kits. But I do a lot of my stuff online. I deal with, a lot of different companies, but I deal with one in particular I wanted to share with you guys because I actually did get something done. I have a commission build, and my first one, but can I show you guys?
Some strip action going there, mister.
She wanted me to build an A10 for her father for his birthday. He used to be a Air Force mechanic that worked on him all the time. So she asked me to do it, and I go, okay, well, what do you want done to it? She says, do the models like I see you do, but add lights to it. I was like, okay. Anything else? She goes, nope, you know how to build it, so take care of it. So probably one of the easiest commission jobs I'll ever get. But I'm really happy because it's really my first one. So, but electronics guys, like I said, I do a lot of stuff online, but I order from Ralph and for my electronic stuff, and he's amazing. So, but other than that, it's just to hurry up and hope this ends soon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, it will. All things do come to pass, but.
Well, this is not forever. That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true. Phil, I think you're a little frozen there, mister.
I don't know whether you can hear me, but yeah, I think I'm frozen up.
Unless you're training to be one of the guards at the Buckingham Palace.
He's doing his ventriloquist act.
Can you see my lips move?
No.
No.
No, brother.
Pardon, you're not even.
I think Rob did. I'll go out and I'll come back. For some reason, my system's decided to, it's not cooperating terribly well. So
Probably.
I'll go out and I'll come back in.
Well, looky, who shows up?
Hey guys, how you doing?
You're back in the UK, huh?
Yeah, I'm back I'm not stateside. I'm back in the UK. I've been here about officially a year. 3rd of March. I'm all tangled up here. Gee, I feel like a next generation Borg drone here with all these cables on me. Jeez. I've been here about a year now. So starting from scratch. Girlfriend in the background on the phone. So she's a bit camera shy.
It took a pandemic to show your face. Oh, he just. What happened? Okay.
No, the reason why I haven't been in any of the Hangouts and what is because I haven't had a decent computer to join the Hangouts. Like I said, when I moved back to England, I didn't take any of my hardware, any of my model kits, anything. I left about 99% of my stuff in the States. I had to. Because of limited carrying capacity and various other things. And so, yeah. So every one of my tank models, every one of my jet, Star Trek, you name it, even some of my customer builds are currently stuck in customs between the States and England. So,
well, I'd send you something to make up for it, but I don't want you to be paying tax on it.
No, God, no, don't. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on with this country? I mean, now we've got this virus pandemic, so I'm stuck here in the house, so with nothing to do. Well, I do have something to do. I did me? Before. I'm not. Get out of it! I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about model kits. Before I left I was living with my cousin in Lincolnshire, and before I left, she gave me a whole bunch of old school Airfix model kits. Now, if you're English, you'll know what this is. But if you're not, then you'll be like, huh? She did give me these. Now, these belonged to her brother, my other cousin, and he didn't want to build them no more. So I've got myself a little Cromwell.
Yeah.
And a couple of vehicle carriers. So I was thinking about doing a little diorama, but he also gave me the M3 Lee.
Yeah.
The A2 Sherman. So I'm thinking about doing a little South Africa diorama kind of thing, because all of these tanks, with the exception of the A2 Sherman, was in South Africa. So I do have something to do, a little side project to do while I'm not working, but so I've got that, and I've got myself some Warhammer 40k stuff to start painting on and working on and whatnot. Problem is, I need certain colors of paints, and I can't go to my Games Workshop store to get the paints. So I just want the plague to get over with, so either I can go get some paints or I can just die.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. Paints or die. Come on, hurry it up, for crying out loud. Just kill me or let me get some paints so I can make my damn tanks.
Yeah.
Literally, my eBay name is Give Me Tanks or Death. So that should tell you something. So just...
Or we all go in our caves. Yeah.
Buck, I have seen some of your stuff. I've not been away from the group. I've seen some pictures and whatnot. And when I was in the British Army, a couple of A-10s did an overhead flyover. And man, those nose cannons, the noise they make. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering them going off. And good luck with the build, mate. I will be watching that extremely closely. And congratulations on the commissions. I remember the buzz I first got when someone paid me to build them a model. I was like, wait, you're paying me to build you a model? It didn't compute in my head at first, but after a while your brain's like, I can do this, but if you're like me, you're a perfectionist. You're constantly sending images and updates to the person to the point where they're like, just build it. Just go with it. Stop updating me. Just build it. And you're like, is this a trap? The Akbar in my brain's going, it's a trap. I'm like, it's a trap. It's gotta be. But it weren't. And the customer, that was Mike Del Pino. He was pretty cool with it. I built him a Cardassian Galore class from Deep Space Nine, along with a Defiant. I hate the Defiant kit. It sags in the center no matter what you do because it was a bad kit. But
Yeah. Well, you got to build a infrastructure on it.
Eventually, that's what I did. I did some plasticard and built some like bulkheads and stuff in it and whatnot. But
Right.
But yeah, it was an annoying kit because he wanted it in a little diorama thing to go with like the very last episode where Cisco's fighting through the punch through the lines and stuff and whatnot and that. So yeah, I built it, sent it to him, and they're sitting on his desk right now as we speak, still lit up. So that's a testament to actually Ralph Tenegli's timer board, because I bought one and put it in the Defiant because I couldn't get the strobe light system, but it worked fine. I scratch built the one in the Cardassian ship because, well, Cardassians don't really have a lot of bells and whistles, but the Federation one, I wanted it to be perfect. So I literally bought one from Ralph and had it shipped to me when I lived in Utah. So,
nice.
But it's been going on now for about 4 years nonstop on display in Mike's office. So that should tell you something to the testament of the level of quality that goes into his stuff. And no, we're not sponsored by him. Just saying.
Right.
No, because some people might be watching this going, "Who is this Ralph Tenegli guy, and why are they in his pocket?" You know what I mean? So.
Hey, you know what? I mean, maybe if we say enough about him, maybe you know where I'm going with this. Maybe. I gotta say, when you first came on, you shocked the shit off of my sock. And, you're looking very well.
I am. I've lost a lot of weight since I moved back to the UK. I've dropped close to about 2 stone in weight.
Translate that in pounds for us dumb Americans.
About 60 pounds.
60 pounds. Shit.
Yeah. Mostly because of
Just
the
remember
job.
you said that, Jack.
Mostly because of the job and your advice that you gave me a couple of years ago. You told me to do cardio, do rowing machines. And so that's what I did. I literally listened to your advice, Jack, because I asked you about, I wanted to lose weight and gain some muscle mass. And that's what I did. I started doing cardio at my local gym. And the job I do is very physical. Up until about 2 weeks ago, I was working in a deli factory doing nights, moving big pallets of food around by hand, not by like hydraulic lifts or anything. And so it was very physical, and I was doing it for 18 hours a day. So literally my body weight just went from this to this. So
good.
And I'm keeping it off by doing cardio, by doing doing like some yoga and stuff like that. And the girlfriend's like, "Why are you doing yoga? That's for girls." I'm like, "No, actually, yoga can go both for girls and guys."
No. So, yoga, I taught yoga at one point, and you get a lot of solace in it. You do it well. I have a preference to do it in a quiet room, and just tune everything out. So we got to move on because this is an hour show after all. But hey, I want to ask you one more question there. I'm going to need to get Phil back in because this wonderful software, if I don't pay for it, only contains 6 people in the Hangout. And I just want to know, are you on MeWe.com? MeWe.
I don't think he knows what that is, Jack.
That is the that Google Plus shut down.
It did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why did it try me? It tried me to download a plugin earlier so I could join the call earlier. So I guess that's why I wasn't working. No, shoot me the link and I will look into it.
I don't know where you are. Just go to MeWe, 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 me and we.com. And if you're going to use the same username, I'm using my full name. But if you use your username, let's hook up there as well. And that's the base of my operation, so to speak.
Next base of operations.
$1 million. That's all you need to deposit.
$100 million.
Yes,
with that,
just made an account.
With that, how you doing there, Heath? Thanks for really driving me nuts.
Well, you're the one who said it, Jack, not me. You're the one who said it, not me.
That was a
I'm
short
good.
drive. Your response is supposed to be, well, that's a short drive. That just
Jack,
confused them. Totally confused.
Jack, this is to make up for all those times that you left on the other hangout, and I'm here now, and you can't leave.
Well, I know you've been a bit of a model.
Oh, yes, I have. I'm not, so to speak, let's keep this PG. The model juices have been flowing. It's just been, you know, that scene from Cocoon where they see the light come out. Well, yes, I've been working on 4 kits. One's finished, and I'll start with the most recent. I'll start with the one that everybody's been seeing me work with during the week, and that's this beauty, the Ferrari F189.
Oh, nice. You're getting better at it. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you see them. Wait till you see the shell.
Wow.
Nice.
And believe it or not, this is all hand painted.
That has the profile of the slave or whatever ship that is.
Well, you can do it that way.
No, the other way. The other way. That would be who am I
that
talking
way.
about Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, this is how it will look.
Slave 2, Slave
Right, right, right.
100,902. You know what? You know, it's really funny because I had to look up the coronavirus in Australia. You guys are still in the hundreds.
We are. We're very lucky.
Yeah, you're doing
But
well.
people still ignore. But people still ignore the social distancing.
Well, back in the 70s, there was a Cold War novel that was saying that the last place that nuclear holocaust would ever occur is Australia. And Australians were the ones that carried the human race into the future. Now, there's a scary thought.
That's how it looks.
I think, wasn't it?
That's how it looks with it on.
That looks
And if
good.
you can picture all the,
Very nice.
if you can picture all the advertising and stuff on it, that's how it would look.
That looks good. Really good.
And on one delightful note, remember all those times I used to have trouble with the downforce, with the rear down.
That was the bane
And
of
everything like that.
existence for a long time.
Yeah.
The curse has been broken, people. Woo!
You go, Heath.
I found a way to do it without it damaging the wing. What I did was I put the bottom part in first, then I put that bit for the second bit. I waited for that to dry, then put that bit in, then put the top of the downforce in. So, yeah, that's coming along nicely. Another kit that I'm working on, which is right here. Now, I need you to suspend disbelief. Because what I'm doing here, this is supposed to be a rally car, but then it's not working out to be such because the body has been absolutely too many coats of paint. I basically have turned this into a street car. The Subaru WRX, which is meant to be like that. You can see that. It look like that. But I'm turning it into a street car. In other words, a road-going narrative, which is pretty simple. But then, what's a good model to do if you can't get it right done the first time? What's he go and do? He goes and buys another one. So this one's going to be the rally car. This one's going to be the street version of it. I think I've got that all in there. And then on top of all that, I'm also doing a... Oh, God, I'm still going. This is incredible. I am doing also, in line with that, a McLaren MP48 Ford. This is the one from 1993 that Ayrton Senna won in Adelaide, his last victory. So that's 3 kits I'm working on. And then, after all that's finished, I've got some decals on the way for this next one. Where are you? Hey, there, you big thing. Hang on a sec. I'm going to have to open the door for this one. Forgive me if I show my backside here. This is how big this box is. What I've got here, I've got some decals on the way for this one.
Okay.
This is a 144 A380.
Yeah.
Ooh, big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is 144.
Mhm.
Believe it or not. Now, I've got Qantas decals coming for this one. And I'll tell you what, when I opened the box and I saw what I saw,
Hold on. Is that the Airbus 350? Did you show?
380.
it's
380.
Airbus A380 800.
Got it. All right.
Double decker.
This is with the British Airways decals, but I'm getting the Qantas ones. Since I come from the land down under.
It's a stretch 380. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when I opened this box,
Wrap it up
this
there.
is fine.
Heath. Wrap it up.
I'm used to this. I'm used to this. But when I saw the body, I turned to my wife and I said, I'm in for a job and a half. That's how big the fuselage is.
Very nice.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I put it that way. That's the fuselage.
Nice.
That is 144.
Yeah, that is a nice size.
Now, you think that's big? Here's the wingspan.
Gee, that's already going on what, 24 inches?
I would say.
This is about, hang on, it's 50. This is from Randal, Germany.
That's okay.
This is 50 by 4 centimeters across.
55. That would make it roughly 18 inches.
Yeah. And horizontally, 55.5 centimeters.
Right.
So this is going to be big. This is going to be a big girl. This is going to be. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I have no idea. I literally might have to get another bookcase just to display this. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good. I'll be doing videos for that one if I can, because I've been wanting to build one of those for a while, ever since I've seen them.
Okay.
So yeah, but besides all that, I've been a busy beaver.
Yeah, you have been. Well, moving on.
Oh God, who brought Bane into the show?
Is it that bad in the UK there, Phil? Oh, look at that! The evil bear.
Evil Granddad's back.
It's the evil bear. The evil bear.
Well,
This whole situation hasn't had the slightest effect on. So,
that would be our show without the evil bear.
staying home, not a problem. I'm not worried. But hang on, I'm going to have to take this off because I can barely breathe in the damn thing.
Yeah, you were sounding like that Batman villain. What's his name?
Yeah, Bean.
Harry.
Yeah.
Well, that was certainly the bane of my life, anyway.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Brr, brr, brr,
Yeah, the bad joke,
brr.
all right. There we go. Yeah, I'm still having a problem with it pausing. But, yeah. It's actually been odd because since we've been trying to self-isolate and that, because I'm sort of also having to do a bit of work from home and that, it's been really difficult to get going on a project. So it's really just been day-to-day stuff. I have been doing a little bit of work, but not a huge amount. If you wanted me to do a little bit of a show and tell, I've been working on my Apollo 13, the Cryo Bay.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that.
So that's
Nice to see you've got the the bit where it blew out on. That's good.
Yep, that's the bit. I've got the shelves that go in there with the oxygen, but this is the. Still needs more detail, but that's got the hydrogen bottle on it. Hang on, let's take this off. That's flaring out a bit too much. Is that all right?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
So that's one of the shells. And that's the one with the... Oh, it's pausing again. That's the one with the oxygen bottles.
Hmm.
Geez, they're small pieces.
Yeah, all scratch built. And that's one of the... let's try and get... That's one of the fuel cells.
Oh, yeah.
Really, that's mostly it for me. It's just trying to keep ourselves entertained, and yeah, mind you, the cats are doing that. So cats keep us on their toes.
Okay.
So that's
Good.
really,
Well, that's it. I mean, that doesn't sound like you're doing much of anything other than buckling down and holding in place.
that's sort of, yeah, that's kind of really at the moment. I'd like to get started in models, but something always seems to crop up that we have to do first.
Right. Well, I like to share some stuff from our chat room here. Wayne couldn't make. He I don't know. I don't know if he made it on or not. There's just some interesting stuff that he's got something going on here.
If you want me to go, Jack.
Wargreymon build.
Well,
I
if you want Wayne and Jack, I can duck out.
I think this is what he meant. Share screen. Looky that.
Oh yeah.
That's very nice.
Oh, yeah. His manga.
Yeah, he really got into the Gundam stuff.
Yeah, Gundam. That's it. Gundam stuff. Yeah.
That's
That
nice.
looks
No,
good.
but I think Wayne was in the tanks. He was in the tanks and artillery.
Are we still doing them?
I
Oh, I know he's still good.
I actually think that may be not Gundam, but Zoids.
Yes. Yes, you're right there, Jim.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, sort of
And
a lot
I
of
think
stuff going
he
on.
posted this thing to say that he's working on this right now.
Oh,
A10.
that is a beautiful aircraft. Some people call it an ugly duckling, but that is a beautiful aircraft. I love the two big. Instead of having the engines in the back, they've got them on the tail. Love them. Love it. Great
Just
tank killer bomb.
My understanding is I watch an RC channel called Flight Test, and they've actually made a foam board version of this that actually flies. And I think I heard it from there. Despite the way it looks, it's very functional at times of conflict as well as civilian use.
Well,
Pretty versatile aircraft, is from my understanding.
I think
It's a great tank. That Gatling gun at the front there, that is a brilliant tank killer. The Gatling gun at the front of the nose there is just it's one of the most vicious tank killing guns ever.
Right. You wanted to say,
It
Bob?
does about 200 rounds. Pulls about 200 rounds a second.
All right, Heath. What did you want to say something there, Buck?
yeah, when I was in the infantry, those were our guardian angels besides the Apaches. But the versatility of that aircraft, it can take a pounding damage and still make it home, like the old bombers from World War II. The Lancaster, the B-17, the B-29, the B-24, those things. The A-10s are right there with their grandfathers in those planes. They can take a beating and keep on ticking.
So what I said was pretty accurate. That they're pretty versatile.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I
right.
know the Air Force keep trying to find replacements for it, but I'm afraid the only thing you can replace an A-10 with is another A-10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a channel that I think I got you guys hooked on because we're not RC people, but the reason I watched this guy, Rami RC, he's coming out of Germany, and he did a video said, well, he's on lockdown, he can't go to work, and good for him because he's got a lot to do. And he's doing a Airbus 350 right now. He's doing it out of fiberglass. And Jim and I talked about him, and this guy's technique and model building skills are bar none, second to none. He's very good, very, very good, and getting better at it. So it is something that I would encourage you all to check out if you're interested in technique and the like. Let's kind of get into some of the things that he's doing here.
Holy no!
This is, I think I just got onto his more recent video, and I watched with anxiety, only because, I mean, he's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Am I right in thinking that he's building the flaps from scratch?
Well, that,
moving?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's got a blueprint that he's building from, I'm sure, but everything is
operational.
ribbing you're seeing he cut himself. I
This is way beyond us.
think machine recently, so it's going a little faster for him.
Essentially, what he's doing is building a real airplane.
Yeah.
It's just you can't sit in it.
This is way beyond us.
Oh, no.
You get the impression that if he scaled it up, he could actually sit in one of those things and fly it.
Let's see. Let's go back to his page. This is the, I don't know. Let's see if we can get that cover picture. Give you the sense of scale that he's working with. No, that's not it. Wanted him to hold it up, but he's not going outside because of the lockdown, I don't think. You never know, and you can get arrested in Germany for going outside.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah. So this is definitely, if you want to even animate your static builds or even dioramas, this will give you some idea. And I have no idea what that landing gear even cost him. This is probably into the well.
Well, he built that gear from scratch.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Yeah, he only bought the pivot mechanism, but the whole rest of the, other than the pivot mechanism, the rest is all built from scratch.
Wow.
Bloody hell. That's
Yeah,
way beyond.
check this guy out. If I don't recall if I kind of gave him a shout out before on the broadcast, but definitely if you're going into some really sophisticated large scale building of models, this is definitely somebody you want to look up to see what kind of techniques he's using. And also, just so that you all know, this is what our we community looks like. Okay, and we had posted a Google Hangout here that hasn't changed for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I do believe Randal or Liam had shared this link with the Facebook community.
Yeah.
And right, were you able to pin it if you wanted to pin it?
No, I haven't. I don't think we've actually pinned it, but it's findable. Like, you just have to look up either my name or names on the search, and it'll bring up the post.
Right.
But I think the first thing I'll do when I get back into it, I'll pin it to the top.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd say that and see where it goes from there. And the reason it's up there is because even though we're locked down around the world, except for other places like nether places like North Dakota, I'm going to really keep on you about that. But I see that your beard is going to protect you rather well there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a very impressive beard, Buck.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Oh.
But I have it there if you're even in your workshop or just want to hang out and not feel so isolating. You know what? I don't know. We don't talk about modeling that much anymore because we said all the things we needed to say.
Yeah.
No.
But we've had some interesting conversations, namely of which that book I showed you yesterday. We spent probably 45 minutes talking about what it is to be British with Mr. British himself from Northern Ireland, Randal.
So that's why I missed out on.
Right.
So I just saw it in the book shop, and I thought, Jack will get a giggle out of that. So.
Well, I certainly did. Well, that was actually pretty cool. Well, gee, anything else?
How is everybody coping? I'd just like to bring it up because I am worried about my group of friends over there in the US and Ireland and Royal Britannia.
Honestly, it's kind of surreal,
Yeah.
Seeing you've gone big, Heath, with that A380, I've gone small with this thing here.
Speaking of
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's no foolery. There's no tomfoolery here. That is small.
But you do have to get outside a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You can't stay inside the four walls. You got to get outside because I got out the other day. My sister and I walked that. Well, it's like a 10-minute walk, but from here we walked downtown to go to the bank, and that felt so good, and it cleaned out the lungs and everything else just to be out in that fresh air for that hour. It just felt so good to be out, being inside.
Well, that's why I read work detention. Force my kids to actually come outside and help me do yard work.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm trying to get let's put it this way. Over here, it's not so, as Jack said, it's not so bad. It's probably, honestly, it's probably more worse over on the eastern states than it is where I am. Because it's like, that's where all the cruise ships come in. That's where all the international flights come in.
Well,
I
think we on that hangout we discussed this, and I think if you were to follow some logic behind it, if you ever been to New York, and I know Randal has, people are literally living on top of each other.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about the population of Australia, which is like almost the size of I think I can easily say it's about the size of the lower 48, or definitely the 50 states of the United States. It's that big. But your national population is no more than some metropolitan areas in the United States.
Yeah, we're about...
You guys aren't living literally on top of each other.
No. There's a few borders between us.
I would think Sydney would probably be the only place I can think of where you get anywhere near the density.
Oh, Sydney is bad. Sydney is bad. If you want living on top of people and stuff like that, go to Sydney.
Right.
And as soon as you arrive there, you'll feel claustrophobic and say, I want to go home.
Right. Well, see, unlike Buck, he's got to get in his car to cross the street. I mean,
Yeah, you know.
John Modelman 1 wants to know what you're 3D printing, Jack.
oh, okay. Then it's up to very good, John. Thank you for watching. This is the technology working here in my favor. Thanks, John, for asking the question. It's hard to be
It's nice to know someone's paying attention.
the host, a guest, and the director, the producer, the moderator, blah, 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 all at one time. But yeah, what I'm doing, you know what? It's funny you should say that because I was trying to get this to load up. It's my Fusion 360. So if you have a moment there, John and others, I will get that loaded up. I would much rather show you the 3D renderings that I've done for the Daedalus. This is Star Trek lore, and this would have been the Enterprise if Gene Roddenberry said, no, I don't like it, it looks stupid. Well, it is a stupid looking ship, but somehow it got into the lore of Star Trek. I am reprinting this part. Oh, this, by the way, this is something I redid and calling it sort of like a refit. This is one part of the secondary hull. So I'm reprinting this right now. This is somewhere in the middle. And this is somewhere near the front. I just got this done. These two prints are about 2 days and 4 hours. And I wanted to print an added part to this. And I just haven't been able to organize myself to the point where I can print these. Now, I got this loaded up. So let's do some screen shares. This will make more sense.
I just asked a question, Jack.
Yes.
Is this this refit Daedalus? Is this like from the motion picture era of Star Trek?
Before the Daedalus came, apparently before Kirk and after Archer.
Yeah.
In fact, mine isn't going to be the USS Daedalus. It's going to be the Archon. If you recall one of the episodes. Here we go. Look at that. It was so easy. This is just bits and pieces here that I'm showing. Let me get this rotated. This is what I had to redesign from this. These two are the parts. As you see, I removed this so it prints better because the print that this produced wasn't the greatest. And this part right here, what got me started here, this part right here is actually a spotlight that's going to shine up along the pylon. And I had this window, which I got rid of. I don't know, it just looked kind of awkward when I took this off. It looked a little awkward. So instead, I did some observation windows and redid the spotlight. The spotlight is on a greater angle, so it shines up all the way up to the nacelle. I think I got it right. And what I wanted to print was this. These are the inserts for here to hold the pylons. All right, now I don't have a rendering of the entire ship all in one spot. All in one file because it's such a huge file. I designed it on their the Fusion 360 older software called Design 123. I haven't learned Fusion 360 quite well enough yet, but I will someday. It's a lot more sophisticated. But to give you an idea, let's fly this to the side. This is the secondary hull.
I like that observation deck.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you mean up here?
Yeah.
I was thinking of not even making that an observation deck. I was thinking to make it like a grill. and just have blackness behind it, darkness behind it, even though it's pushed all the way through. It can be, it can be used as an observation deck. I don't think in this era they were doing observation decks to the point of having some luxury on the ship, because this is a pretty small ship in comparison to the Constitution class even. But yeah, I mean, I could build it that way. That was the intention. Certainly, that was the intention. I don't know. I might change my mind again there, Randall.
Might, yeah.
I don't know. There'll be a lot of lights in. Here's the nacelle. Left and right port and starboard. This is what it's illustrating here. If you don't see it down here, that means it's a direct carbon copy of it. Let's see if I can get this to fill the screen a little better. So this is I got this already built. I will show you in a moment. This actually, all assembled, is about 24 inches. So this is going to be a pretty big one. This is going to be into the 45, 46 inches overall. And somebody said, we're going to keep it at home. We're going to display it. I said, well, my response to that, I'll worry about it once it gets built. I think that was you, Randall, wasn't it?
Yeah. 46 inches. That puts it about the same length as the Discovery model that I built.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Discovery is a little more compact.
Yeah. That sits nicely on a shelf, but that there.
You have to build its own room.
Yeah, so this is already printed. This is not done yet. I'm not going to be incorporating this collar. I'm just going to have it just jump right into, it goes right into here. If you're seeing this seam here, it's because my printer can only handle such a big size, so I had to split it up. And one of the things that I really like about this design here is the deflector dish. I really like that deflector dish. It will be backlit, and I don't know, somehow I feel that it's an appropriate transition between the NX-01 as well as the Constitution.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the neck. And one of these days I have not seen, even virtually, I have not seen this model in one piece. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. The end cap is not on here yet because I want to paint it. This model will not be painted. It will be the same color as the PLA. It's the material that it was printed from, which is considered to be silver by Matter Hackers. Is where I get my matterhackers.com is where I get my PLA from. And so, yeah, I'm going to. There are certain parts on here that are painted, like those areas, as well as that area. So, will it focus?
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Mm.
And
That is huge.
let's see if I can treat y'all to a show and not burn everything out. Well, that'd be a pain in the butt if it was.
So if we see a brilliant flash, we'll know what's happened.
What do you mean a flash? What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? I wasn't actually prepared, John, to really show this right now. But since you asked, everybody here is probably bored to tears about this already. It's all I talk about on the Hangouts.
I'm not. I'm not. I love how you're doing the grade list, Jack. Brilliant.
Let's see, which one's which? Okay, let's go with this. Let me tone down the voltage because it. Is this I really don't like monkeying around with this stuff. Well, one thing about LEDs is that they're polarized. Gee, certainly not a. Let's see who's lit here.
John says you'll have to clear coat it.
Oh yeah, I'll have to clear coat it for decals. Oh, whatever reason, I'm not connecting this up the way I thought I would. This is right. No, this isn't right either. This somehow got disconnected. I don't know. Oh, here we go. This all I want to do is just.
Oh.
Okay, this is at 9 volts. Let me tone this down so it shows better. There's the intercoolers, and there is the. I haven't diffused this yet, but there's an LED tape in there, right around the edge.
Mm.
Camera's different than real life, so we'll do that. That intercooler is LED tape. I don't know. Ralph's stuff comes through with 3 wires, and I'm not sure why. Is this it? Okay. What did it go up to? I'm going to dim this down so it doesn't blow out on camera. And this is the Bussard. This is Ralph's Bussard for the Constitution right here. Okay, let's get you.
Nice, Jack.
Oh, I know what the 3rd wire is for, is to change the speed. So I'm not going to do that now. But this looks like it's on a slower speed as it is. But in person, you could see that there are fan blades in there the way they're designed. Ralph is just a genius. Ralph is just an absolute genius. So that's what I've been doing. And what was it? Last week, I had 3 physical days off from work, and that's what I got finished on the coronavirus circumstances. But now that I'm working from home, I go back to my regular schedule. But at least, I can just turn around in my chair after I'm done with this computer and go to this computer and this bench, and I'll be working. So right now, I am working on getting the back end of the secondary hall worked on. So there's a couple, like I said, I reprinted this successfully finally, and I'm reprinting this right now. And I got a bunch of little parts to reprint and get going. Let's see. You have to clear coat it, Jack. Yes, I'll be clear coating it, John, with gloss, and I'm going to get Tony to do the decal sheet for me. I'll print the decal sheet now, but he's going to basically lay out the graphics for me as a favor. Because I did a smaller one, John, that some people had bought. Tony and Lou Del Meso had also had a kit too that he had on his video several months ago. But that was a smaller one. But this is by double the size, easy. And just got gloss coated for the decals. And then, of course, it'll be finished off with a matte I was given by Tony the codes and the names for the Tamiya clear coats, but I just got my Vallejo. Well, I'm going to try this with Vallejo. This is the gloss, and this is the matte. And I was actually surprised they come in such big bottles. I think this will be enough for the whole model. So that's what's going to happen for that. Oh, you have to clear coat it for PLA. Now, mind you, John, that this is sanded. This took some elbow grease. The reason why this took 2 days and 4 hours is not just the size of it, but the layer heights are very low on this. This is a 0.07 layer height. If I go any higher, it becomes a pain in the butt to try to cover up those layer lines. So this hasn't been sanded yet, and we went all through this. You can see there's a lot of layer lining going on there, and that needs to be sanded out. But honestly, the need to clear coat PLA, sanding it is what convinced me not to paint it. And now that Wonderfest is not in May, that it is in October, that my goal was to get it done for Wonderfest, and here comes the real bummer, is that I was barely able, schedule-wise, I'm barely able to get it done for May. And because of my work, my job, I cannot go to the October show. So this is going to have to be next year if anybody wants to see it
Live.
in person. PLA will crack. I haven't had that experience, honestly. If anything, it's been very hard cracking it.
It's a lot harder than what you might think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very hard material. It's supposedly fragile. Everything that's being said about PLA, I have not experienced.
Yet.
Well, there's always that word yet. But I think, though, once it's coated and sealed, I don't think it's going to be exposed to the environment. And it's certainly not going to sit outside in the sunlight. I understand that.
It is sensitive to UV, so over long periods of time. So that's an issue. But again, if you seal it and paint it. But they have found if you take PLA and anneal it in an oven, it starts to resist the UV effects a lot. It changes somehow the a bit of the chemical composition if you anneal it.
Is that after you've printed or
After?
Yeah.
After you printed it, you bake it in an oven for, I can't say exactly how long, but I've never done it myself yet.
Right.
But but they say it makes it harder, so it's not as brittle, and it tends to help as far as UV damage is concerned.
Right. This has all been a very big learning experience. I've been doing this since April last year. This has been longer than I expected. I thought I'd be done by November, December, by Christmas time anyway.
Yeah. In other words, if you wanted to make garden ornaments, PLA is not the material to use. There are some other ones that are more UV resistant that you could use.
Yeah, PETG seems to be the one to go with as far as between the expense of the material as well as its durability.
Yeah.
ABS I wouldn't even bother with because it's just too much of a problem. Yes, it is. I don't know what you're saying yes to, John. That is sensitive to UV light, I would guess that you're saying yes to. Well, anyway, I kind of soaked up a lot of time on that. I didn't expect to go over the hour, but you asked, and I showed, and I do progress seldom, but I do progress pictures on the MeWe.com community. Facebook, no. When I start thinking Facebook, I start doing this and start hitting my head.
Well, that's what me and Liam are here for, and Dirk. We'll look after that side of it, Jack. Don't you worry.
I don't know. I have to take a shower after I've been on Facebook. Anyway, definitely I will work up. What I'm also trying to do too is do videos, and I came to a point where I honestly have never worked with PLA, so I don't know how this is going. So the video portion of things, I might. This is a big might. Is to get another printer and to reprint, because what I'll be doing also is perfecting the files, cleaning up the files, putting them in an organized fashion. I'll have you know, Jim, I'm going to get organized. Warning, warning! Will Robinson, danger, danger! Jack is getting organized. And compile the files in a order of which that if I want to share, somebody's going to be so bold to spend months printing it. Yes, that will be a thing. And so I think what I'm going to do is maybe get another printer and put together a top to finish series of videos for this, and that will be the next project. The other project I'm thinking of doing with 3D printers is do things that will turn the 18-inch AMT kit of the Enterprise into different classes of ships, like the Ptolemy, the Tug, as well as the Destroyer. One of my favorites is the Destroyer and the Scout ships with the 1 and 2 nacelles. That'd be a lot of fun to do. Maybe even do a Kelvin variety. Just 3D print things that will make doing those scratch builds easier and take the guesswork out of it. That should be a pretty small project to engineer. It turns out I'm becoming an engineer of these things. Because the fit, John, I got to the fit I got to say is really tight and really good, and I got to pat myself on the back for doing a pretty good job. I don't toot my own horn very often, but that I have to admit I'm impressing myself in the design of these things. And I thought, wow, this is something I really enjoy doing. Like the smaller data lists, I haven't even built yet. There are other people that built it. So you can find those pictures on the MeWe.com community. Yeah, so there will be a lot to do in the coming year to go back over this project and go back over the actual building or assembly of it. Maybe not lit, and we'll go from there. All right, then. Thank you for everyone showing up here and putting up with me, as usual. Look at Buck. He's just all smiles. And, yeah, we'll be back in... our shows are the first of the month. And the first Saturday, I'm sorry, if not the first of the month, the first Saturday of the month, which the next one will be May 2nd. And we'll have some more stuff to show and talk about. And as I said, go to that link, that Google Plus Hangout. Google Plus, what am I saying? Google Hangouts is not going away. So everybody's all panicked about that. The Hangouts are not going away. What is going away is the broadcast Hangout. And that's why you're seeing that, there it is, covering Jim's face over there. StreamYard. Now, if I paid money, I'd have more people and maybe as much as 8, and that logo goes away.
Yeah.
but we'll see as in the future what will hold for the channel on this YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up, such as Danny. Haven't seen him for ages. It's good to see him, as always, and he's good to see that he's doing healthy. And also Heath. Oh gosh, Heath, you know how to get a guy. But thank you for stopping by too, and he's probably going to bed as we speak. And I'd like to thank Jim, of course.
You're welcome.
And let's see if I can get you to. There you go, Jim. And also Randal, and also Buck, and also Phil, which he's still studying to be the Buckingham Palace guard with his
The stoic face.
with his stoic face. Am I forgetting anybody?
No,
No,
thank you.
I
Thought
don't
that
know.
was my line.
I don't know if I'm forgetting you. Yeah, Buck has a channel if you want to watch his channel on YouTube. And that's really it for this month. Thanks for stopping by. Happy modeling, everyone. We'll see you later, and happy modeling.